Welcome back to the channel. My name is a-bomb. We're back with Football Manager 2020 and a deal with the Devils with Manchester United. We're facing Spurs today. We're into December. That can mean only one thing. We're through in the Champions League. We don't need to face Real Madrid on camera because it's done. We have won the group and Real Madrid might still actually go out. But yeah, today we are taking on Tottenham at home. We are in second place in the league at the moment. Similar to last time, we're getting okay results without playing particularly well. We lost heavily last time, 4-0 to Man City in the Manchester derby. They were just too good for us. Hopefully today against Spurs we can get back to winning on camera, and we'll try and stay close to City because they're running away at the moment. We need to stop them. As always, if you're enjoying the series, drop a like down below, leave comments, and if you haven't done so already, or if you're new, do consider subscribing and turning on notifications. So yeah, last episode we were torn apart by Manchester City. Aguero with 2, Silva with 1, Stones with 1. We didn't have a chance really. It was disappointing. First up off camera was a 2-1 win in Russia against Spartak Moscow. This sealed progression through the Champions League, if we hadn't done it already. 2-1 win here. All goals coming fairly late. It took a while to break through. We played pretty well. Some poor performers out there. Cavani on a bit of a goal drought. He scored since this, but he's not doing too well. Haaland has not been doing well either. I don't know how well other people are doing with him because everyone's signed him. But he's not doing too well for me. But the goals in this one came from Martial and from Rashford, who replaced Daniel James. 2 goals, 76 minutes for Martial, 83 for Rashford. Moscow got a consolation goal late in stoppage time. Roman Zobnin with a goal in the 94th minute, the right back. Just a consolation goal for them, so no clean sheet for us. But that's okay, we're through in the Champions League. We then thrashed Southampton 5-0, but it came as a cost as we had injuries to Douglas Costa playing his first game back. So not only is he not performing well, he's also injury prone. Axel Tuanzebe also went off injured on the hour. But yeah, we absolutely trounced him in this one. We were terrific, apart from the players that went off injured. Tuanzebe, before getting injured, actually scored the first goal, his first Man United goal, and that came on 24 minutes, the only goal of the first half. But we then scored 4 in about 16 minutes. 4 goals in, about 15-16 minutes. Martial on a 51 minutes, making it 2-0, and then almost immediately after that it was 3-0, an own goal by Mario Lemina. And then Rashford with a brace to make it 4-5, scored on 57 minutes and then scored on 67 minutes. So a 5-0 win, pretty emphatic. Southampton didn't, well, they had some chances from defence as well, of the back 3, and yeah, just didn't really convert them. They had a few shots on target, but not great. And then we dropped our first points in the Champions League as Copenhagen held us at Old Trafford. This was a bit of a disappointing one, especially as they had 2 shots, one of which went in. Very disappointing that we couldn't finish the chances here. Martial played up front, didn't do too well. Copenhagen took the lead in the first half, and it was the former Swansea man, Andre Ayew, scoring for them to make it 1-0 to them. And those are even flashbacks, because I'm sure United lost at home to Copenhagen in a European competition like a few years ago, but might be talking like 10 years ago here. Like maybe 09-10 sort of season. I'm sure they lost at home to Copenhagen. It might have been in Denmark, but they've definitely lost to them. So Ayew scored for Copenhagen. We did equalise on 62 minutes. Cavani replacing the unimpressive Martial. Just took about 5 minutes of the game to score it as well. Dalot played well. Tonali played well. Rashford created a lot. Yeah, 1-1, first drop points, but it doesn't matter because we're through and we've already won the group, because on the same day, Real Madrid lost to Spartak Moscow. 2 more games to go through, the first of which was a draw at Anfield against Liverpool. A tough game, but Liverpool, lots of shots on target, lots of possession, but only a point for us. It's a good point. Like, at Anfield's a very difficult place to go, so I'm happy with this. And we led on the 16th minute. Mason Greenwood opening and scoring for us, playing on the right-hand side, because we are struggling for options there. James has been okay, Matt has been okay. I decided to give Greenwood the rub here, and he scored. Liverpool equalised 5 minutes into this second half. The goals from strange sources, the usual front 3 not scoring goals. Fabinho scored on 50 minutes. We went back in front on 67 minutes. Scott McTominay with his first goal of the season. Taking a while. We scored a few goals last year, but this season, it's been his first really good performance, McTominay. He hasn't really hit the ground running this season, but this was his first big performance. And then 3 minutes after the McTominay goal, Liverpool equalised again. Andy Robertson with a 70th minute goal to make it 2-2. So yeah, goals from unlikely sources for Liverpool. Salah, Mane, Firmino, not really amongst the goals. Salah did well but didn't score. And yeah, goals coming from a defender and a defensive midfielder. And then lastly, it was a 3-2 home win against Wolves, but they did give us a bit of a scare. We were 3-0 up in this game where we almost threw it away. Very, very close to it. Dalot had a terrible game. He scored an own goal and just had a nightmare at right back. So Wan-Bissaka, I'm hoping, will be back for the next one because Dalot was dreadful. It was a hat-trick for Anthony Martial here. He took just 7 and a bit minutes to score the first goal and then made it 2-0 just before half-time, last minute of the first half. And then it was about 3 minutes into the second half that he scored the third and got a pretty good hat-trick. But Wolverhampton, they did respond after that. Jota with a goal on 70 minutes to make it 3-1. And then an own goal, as I mentioned, Dalot putting it in his own net 5 minutes after that, 3-2. And they had chances to equalise and didn't take them. I think they might have actually had a goal disallowed as well. So it could have been 3-3. Pretty close game, like stats-wise. It was very tight. I think a draw would have been fair for Wolves. I think they probably deserved one, maybe. Just because we were almost threw it away. We were pretty bad. So yeah, Man City, bit of a blemish there. Of course, we had our bad start as well. But we were on a pretty good unbeaten run. I think it was at 14 games. League table, you can see, we're second. But City, 7 points clear at the top of the table as we are into December. And they've only dropped 5 points so far this season. So City seem to be running away with it. And I think they're going to get a lot of points. We need to try and stay as close to them as we can. Because did we get 100 points last season? We did. We got 102 points last season in the end. Drew 3, lost 2. If we can replicate that, brilliant. I don't think we're going to. But yeah, City finished on 90 points last season and it's still only finished second. Bournemouth still riding high in third, which is very interesting. Everton and Norwich sort of around the European places. Chelsea starting to rise up the table a bit in 13th. They have sacked Frank Lampard. Although Brendan Rodgers has been sacked by Leicester who find themselves in the relegation zone. So we're against Spurs today, who are in 8th place. Now, who's in charge of Tottenham now? Because no Pochettino. It's Mas Allegri in charge of Spurs. We'll go straight into the match preview. 2 wins against Spurs last season, did the double. Wan-Bissaka still out, so Dalot is going to play again. Hopefully he has a better game. Spurs seemingly with a clean bill of health. Now, this is interesting that the link up between Rashford and Chilwell is not good. They don't play well together. So Shaw's going to play today, also because Chilwell's very tired. Greenwood's also going to come out. We're going to start James. But I think we will stick with this. Dalot, I say, didn't play well, but we haven't really got anyone else we can play there. Wan-Bissaka is injured, so there's not a lot else we can do with that. So I think this is what we're going to have to go with. I can't really change anything else. There's nothing that I want to change. Pereira's not been doing too well, but we don't really have another defensive midfielder. We could go for someone else other than James. But the only really option is Mata, who's playing in the middle. And look, Haaland and Cavani have not been playing well. So Martial's playing up front at the moment. And that leaves Rashford out on the left. And him and Chilwell don't have a good link up. Which is interesting because, one, they're both English. And there's no chemistry there, apparently. It's interesting. I've never seen that before. I think it's new to this game. You had the green links between players that played well. But that's the first time I've seen a negative link where people aren't playing well together. That's the first time I've seen it. But United versus Spurs, let's see how this goes. After a heavy defeat against City last time, we want a good one here. A good result. The Spurs team, Ruben Diaz is at centre-back. It's a 3 at the back for Spurs. Let's see if we can get something here. It's a ball over the top. It's Rashford. And it's James. And it's on target. Lloris makes a save. 9th minute. An early chance there. Let's have a look at the rest of this team then. So it's a defensive formation. They've got 3 at the back and they've got the defensive midfielder in Ndombele. Jordi Alba's also there as well. As a player that we looked at, but he joined from Barcelona, I think in the January, ready to join in the summer, something like that. I think it was on a free. Dele Alli and Kane have strike partnership as well. That's interesting. No like wingers or anything like that. No attacking midfielder. 2 central midfielders. It's an interesting formation that Spurs are going with here. Nouria's got lots of space out wide. Far too much for my liking. It's Eric Dyer. I say it's a defensive Spurs side, this. It seems that way anyway. And Ndombele. Alba. Their wing-backs are very attacking though. That's going to be a problem. You've got Aurier and Alba as the wing-backs. Here's McTominay. Goes long. And finds Martial. He's got some players to beat. He's beaten... Well, he hasn't beaten the goalkeeper. Lloris makes a save. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the defensive width just to standard, not have it so narrow. We're going to push it slightly higher as well. Because we want to try and peg their wing backs back, if that makes sense. We don't want them getting too far forward. Look at me sounding like I know what I'm talking about. I think we've got to slow them down a bit as well. Let's try that. Let's go for a slightly lower tempo for this one. In fact, we're going cautious. We need that counter-attack, don't we? We haven't had a highlight for a while, and it's almost half time. A pretty dire first half that was. A couple of chances early on, but that was it. Not a great first half. We were at home as well. James and Matt are not really involved in the play too much. Pereira also. We're going to drop slightly deeper, I think, as that anchor man. But not a pretty first half. Let's see if we can improve things in the second. Okay, it's asking us to go more direct now. I wish our arse man would make up his mind. Arse man, assistant manager. In case you didn't know. Martial, again, being very quiet. Could be a chance here, though. 62 minutes. And it is Dan James on the ball. And it's Jonathan Tah. Plays it to Dalot, who's not doing anything wrong so far. Here is James. He's got Martial in there. It's cleared by Ruben Diaz, though. And Lindelof now. It's very far forward, but leaves it for Shaw. And James can maybe cross this in here. He has. And it's Rashford. Is it going to count? I don't think it is. These always seem to be disallowed. It's gone to VAR and it's been called back for offside. These are always called offside. There's never a case that it goes to VAR and it's given. That's very tight. But Rashford is apparently offside. Right, going to make some changes. Martial, again, has been quiet. So Cavani's going to come on. We're also going to replace James. Put Mata on the right. And bring on Pogba. Why did I not start Pogba? Why on earth did I not start Pogba? What am I thinking? 69 minutes on the clock. And it's a short free kick from Victor Lindelof. Shaw goes long. It's Marcus Rashford's got a lot of work to do. He's going to shoot, isn't he? Of course he was. He was never not going to shoot from there. Got a corner from it, though. And Mata's on this. And what's he going to do with this? Nothing much. Goalkeeper makes that easy. It's been one of the most boring games of the season so far, easily. That's given away, though. Was that Dalot again? I think it might have been. Heung-min Song. Good save to Gea. Simple save, really. But I think Dalot might have given it away again there. Right, going to make our final change. We're going to move Mata back into the middle. Going to take off Rashford. Going to bring on Haaland. Go to that narrow diamond. Try and get it through the middle. Pogba, free kick. 88th minute of the game. And it's Lloris. Makes a save there. Albert has sent through Everton here, who's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Oh, he's not done well there. He's fluffed it. Corner kick for Tottenham. We've had a lot of corners. First time we've seen Spurs have a corner for a while. Taking their time as well. They seem to be playing for the 0-0 here. It was a defensive formation from the start. And here is Erling Haaland taking it past the defenders. He's just got the keeper to beat. And he can't end his goal drought. He's put it straight at Lloris. That was a late chance there to win it. Still time though. 3 minutes of stoppage time plus 1 of normal. Dalot with a throw-in. Please don't give it away. We're not even going to see it. It can't have been good. Last minute of the game now. It's a free kick for Spurs. It's Davinson Sanchez. And Spurs are playing for the draw here. Ruben Diaz on the ball. Heung-min Son. We were quite high up there. That's full time. What a boring game. A 0-0 at home against Spurs. Spurs playing for the draw. They were set up very defensive. Look at that. Is that how they ended the match? I think that's how they ended the match. That's ridiculous. That's how they started the match as well. I'm going to say unlucky though. We created a few chances there, but Spurs, they were set up to defend. They wanted that 0-0 from the start. Lloris did well in goal. Defending by both teams was pretty solid, but it led to 3 clear-cut chances for us, 2 for them. But the goalkeepers have both done well. Both defences did well, actually. And that made for a pretty boring match, unfortunately. So looking at our Champions League group, you can see that we've already won the group and Real Madrid could go out. We face Real Madrid at Bernabeu on the final match day. If we win at the Bernabeu, then Real Madrid are out because Spartak and Copenhagen, if there's a win for either team, they'll overtake Real Madrid. A draw and Spartak will. And if Copenhagen win, they'll overtake them. So if we beat Real Madrid, we knock them out of the Champions League. That's huge. Even if we draw, if Spartak then beat Copenhagen, they'll overtake him. So it's a very interesting final day. We have nothing to play for, but we could knock Real Madrid out. And that could make a path to a Champions League title a little bit easier. There's still ridiculously good teams in it, but if we could offer Real Madrid the group stages, that would be massive. That's not going to be on camera though. That's our next match we're playing, so I'll let you know how that goes. We've got a big double header against West Ham on Boxing Day in the 29th. Very strange that they've been grouped together like that. I think we probably are going to go for a West Ham double header next time because that would be quite good. And then after that, we'll have all the January dealings. Do we have any money? We've got 55 million in the transfer budget, so we could potentially go out and get some players because I think we do need some. I don't think we've had the best transfer window, and I think I've I don't think I've strengthened in the wrong places. Like Douglas Costa's been a disappointing signing. He hasn't got any goals or assists, so he's been very poor. But I think there's just some bits that I still need. Central midfielder, and maybe like a central attacking midfielder. So I think we just need to improve that midfield a bit because it's not too good. Danilo Pereira's not been doing too well. McTominay's had like 1 or 2 good games. Pogba and Tonali are decent. I mean, Tonali's not done much. He's only got 1 goal. Pogba's doing okay. Pereira probably needs to go. So I think the midfield needs a bit of work. I think defensively we're fine. I think we've got lots of options there. And going forward, we've got Martial. We have Cavani and Haaland who aren't playing well, but hopefully we can see some more of them in the second half of the season. So I think midfield is where a lot of work's going to be needed in the new transfer window. We'll try and make some sales and make some money. But in January, I think there will definitely be at least 1 purchase. So I'll show you who that is. But as for matches next time, we're going to play both matches against West Ham. We're going to have a double header with the Hammers. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like down below, leave comments, and if you haven't done so already, or if you're new, do consider subscribing and turning on notifications, and I will see you next episode for that West Ham double header, and we'll see how we did in that Champions League game as well. Are we going to knock Real Madrid out of the Champions League? We'll find out next time. For now, thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.